Last time on the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, it was found that Captain Sonic was murdered, and so Detective Tails, me, and the birthday girl Amy Rose, the investigative journalist, were off to find the culprit. After moseying through the saloon car and interrogating Sheriff Knuckles, it was found that Rouge, Vector, and Shadow all had passed through with the saloon car, which is the car that connected to where Sonic was found, dead. Which brings us to the library car, where Vector and Espio are sitting. All this stuff's getting heavy. I'll dump what I don't need. And that's us removing stuff from our inventory from the saloon car. Okay. Everyone's favorite journalist reporter, Amy Rose, is hot on the scoop. I'm heading out. You've been fabulously helpful.
Already! Before you go, Espio and I wanted to give you your presents.
My presents? You're both too sweet. Thank you. Vector, it seems we have more guests. Amy, there you are. Want to join us in finding clues? Have you found any leads yet? Oh, the detective pair needs help from the birthday girl? She knows everyone's allowed to be sassy on their birthday. This tip is just too juicy to ignore. I'll see you all around. Phrasing? Don't worry, Sonic. I'll be the one to avenge you. And quick.
But how you gonna leave? The door to the next car is locked.
Oh, you doubt the birthday girl? The birthday girl has a master key. Right. The birthday girl gets the birthday key.
Of course, it's a birthday privilege.
I'll solve this case before anyone else. Bye! Amy may be hasty, but she's thorough.
Now what are you two doing? Looking mighty suspicious, I say.
I'm the detective, so I can't be the murderer. And I'm, here to ask if anyone's hungry. Just making sure things go well.
Things aren't going great.
Not sure if you've forgotten, but there was a murder.
Well, I mean besides that. Besides murder?
My social skills, non-existent.
I'm Vector the Butcher. I'm licensed to handle raw meat.
Okay, phrasing. And I'm Espio, the poet. Poetry! A resonant message from poet to reader meant to challenge our delicate perspectives with the most rhythmic of prose. Can I hear some? Sure. Teardrops in the spring. Can you hear me sing? La la la, la, dee dee dee, dee.
Was that it?
I have more if you like. Cherry blossoms in the spring. I'm satisfied for now, thanks. At least he's rhyming, I suppose. Had and I are here to establish both of your alibis. Can you walk us through what happened after Amy had everyone leave the dining car?
Oh, sure, it's simple. We just explained this to Amy, actually. When we were all sent off, Rouge, Blaze, Shadow, and Sonic all passed through this library car, where Amy told me and Espio to stay.
I promptly picked a book off the shelf and made myself comfortable. Vector got bored, so he left to see what Knuckles was up to in the saloon car.
Yep.
Where was Rouge? We happened to see her lipstick stain on a cup at the saloon car. Rouge came over to the library car, seemingly looking for something. Then she went to search the saloon car. She came back shortly after. We heard her shout, "No way," at the brochure stand over there. But she left back to the casino car before Shadow came through and locked the door. Wonder what she found. She's obviously been on the hunt for something. After Rouge left, Shadow walked through the casino car, then entered the library car and locked the door behind him. More importantly, why has Shadow been locking doors?
Shadow walked through the library car to the saloon car where Knuckles and I were playing games. He insisted on showing us up at Super Monkey Ball. I got so engrossed by the rolling monkey action, I hardly noticed when Shadow left the saloon car. I guess he walked through the library car to the casino car, again locking the door behind him, then returned to the lounge car where he was meant to be stationed.
When Vector came back, we realized Knuckles locked the door to the saloon car. We were stuck in the library car. That's when the
train sped up. We were worried about the bookshelves falling on us, but we got through it all right.
We sat trapped here until Amy arrived asking questions. She's the one who told us someone murdered Sonic. And, yeah, that's all that happened. With all these locked doors, it seems Vector or Espio couldn't have left the library car or the saloon car. Thank you both for your cooperation. We're just gonna peek around, and we'll return with any questions.
If you return with any meat, I'll chop it up for you.
And if you'd like to be serenaded with the poem, I got you covered too. Thanks, guys! Their alibi seems solid enough, but we should still search for clues. What we're looking for is any evidence that proves what they're saying is true. We need to confirm Vector's reason for leaving his post and determine if Espio was actually in the library car reading. A tall task, but we can do it. Let's get to the bottom of this, Tails. Absolutely! Alright. Starting from the left, we have this glorious portrait of the conductor, but it's not interactable. Hey, hang in there. A chow hangs precariously from a tree branch. The large text below reads, "Hang in there." Wow! I really needed to see this. Huh? This little chow's hanging there, refusing to use his wings to fly to safety because choosing the hard way is often the most rewarding. That's beautiful. If this chow can stick to his principles and find strength, then I can too. There's no way there was that much thought put into this poster. Right? Now here's the real thing. That chow is a level 0 little baby chow who doesn't have any flying points, so he can't fly. Tails. Alright. Ooh, brochures! There are travel destination ideas here, like amusement parks, caverns, hotels, restaurants. Oh! Hat, look at this! There's a couple maps here. This seems to be a map of the library car. The books are categorized by genre, which are listed here. I love a good overhead map. Let's take it. Should we take this brochure about a cave too? Look, there's stalactites. Nah, leave it. Oh, yeah, that's fair. Nobody shares my fondness for caves. And we have this map now. Now, they said there was details on it, and I see no details on it. But who am I to judge? Books. So many books on the ground. I wish we had time to pick them all up. I sadly have no interest in picking up these books. A lot of these were knocked out by the train speeding up. But Rouge pulled a lot of these out too, searching for something. What reckless behavior! I feel sorry for the poor books. The spines are creasing. They're opening too far. This kid feels empathy for everything. Robo arm. Oh, poor thing. That arm is really struggling cleaning up this car. To be fair, I wouldn't want to clean up all this mess either. Let's just leave it alone to do its thing. Yeah, probably for the best. Globe. A globe of our marvelous planet. I haven't traveled around much. The islands are fun and all, but I'd love to visit some of the countries. They're a lot of fun, honestly. Plenty of wonderful people and shops. The food can't be beat either. Ah, sounds perfect for a vacation. The conductor was talking about Spagonia, if you've ever been there. I have, actually. If you're ever visiting, be sure to stop at the university and say hi to Professor Pickle. He'll tell you everything about the area and makes one scrumptious sandwich. I'll keep that in mind, thanks. This group knows everyone and has been everywhere, haven't they? Something's always hidden in the trash. Let's check there. I hate to say it, but there's nothing here. Ah, I really thought there'd be something there. Hat, are you sad there was nothing in the trash bin? No. No. I'm alright. I'm sure there'll be something hidden in the next trash bin we find. You really think so? Yeah, we just gotta stay optimistic. Yeah, okay. These trash bins hide a secret, I'm sure of it. Hat, you're pretty unconventional, but I like that. Was that supposed to be a compliment? And a little scroll to the right, we found a book in a pile. What's this bright red book? Oh, yuck! This reeks of the evil scientist Dr. Eggman. Yup, this is Dr. Eggman's autobiography and recipe book. What kind of recipes? Who cares? I wouldn't trust any book he's written. It's weird this is even here. Maybe people just appreciate an omelet. You may not be wrong. Wow! I wish I could stop and look at all these books. But Sonic needs me. No time to rest. Alright, let's move on then. Well, I mean, a little peek wouldn't hurt. He's scavenging through all the book titles excitedly. He's like a kid in a candy shop. Or in this case, a genius in a train library. Oh, that's odd. I know some books have fallen out on the floor and everything, but every book on these shelves is in alphabetical order, but this one. It's the user guide to the Mirage Express, the train we're currently on. Do you think someone found it on the ground and put it back? Maybe, but it is interesting. Let's make a note of this. Alright, and we have that. Okay. An exhaustive manual, the Mirage Express has many features and capabilities. Doesn't seem to mention how to drive the train, which would have been neat. Alright, and I guess that's it. All that's left is, Vector, Espio, and the door out. That's locked.
Did you bring me any meat to chop? I may be a butcher, but they confiscated my meat cleaver before getting on the train.
You actually tried to bring a knife on the train?
I'm a man of authenticity, Tails. Without a knife, I'm just a chef in a ketchup-stained apron, not a butcher.
I think if you had a knife on you, we'd definitely think you were the murderer.
But what if I hid the knife?
You know, I'm not the biggest fan of this line of thought. Hey, can I take your order?
Oh, yes, please! I'm starved!
Actually, I'm off duty at the moment. The murder mystery is more important.
Then why would you show the menu to me?
Come on, Hat. Why would you tease him like that?
Then here I thought I could trust you. You've made a fool of me!
Look, Hat, you made him a fool. Come on, Hat, smooth this over. No, I'm the fool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I smooth things over, but at what cost? Oh yeah, I gotta talk to him. Talk.
I may be a butcher, but I've already said all this before.
Alright.
Nothing like cold cuts for a cold case. Let me know if you need any good butchering.
Fancy a poem. Can I get a poem about trains? Locomotive in motion. I think I lost my lotion. The window shows the ocean. Oh wait, there's my lotion. Thanks. I actually really like that one. Huh? Can I get this poem about space? I've made it up to space with my beloved antique vase, but a mistake in my haste dropped the vase from my embrace, so my antique I must now replace. What caused you to drop the vase? Tails, he said it. He made a mistake in his haste. He was too fast. Don't read too deeply. It's just a poem. He hasn't thought it through, has he? Can I take your order? I have a poem about this. My starved stomach babbled, though I ignored the grumbling tummy, for the eggs I received are scrambled when I asked for my eggs sunny. Oh, wow, we don't serve any eggs on the train, though. My talent is wasted on you lot. Oh, the table. Let's just take a pause and sit for a second. These chairs are very comfy, so plush, puts me right in the mood to read. Makes me want to take a nap, personally. In fact, maybe I'll rest my eyes for a bit. Hat, no! Don't fall asleep! There's been a murder, remember? If I had a ring for every time a murder ruined my nap time. Alright, well, let's try to get out of here. Shadow supposedly walked through the library car before going into the saloon car. When Shadow left the library car, he locked this door on his way out. There's got to be a reason he's doing this. Should we make a note of it? Yeah, I do believe we should. Shadow's lock. I think we found enough clues. Let's go interrogate Vector and Espio to find out what really happened. A lock that supposedly Shadow has been placing on multiple doors of the train. Now here's the thing, it was supposed to be locked, but it seems as though when Amy left, she decided to unlock it. And leave it, she unlocked it obviously, but she left it unlocked. But she remembered to lock it in the saloon car? Whatever. Alright, let's get interrogating.
So, the two of you don't believe us, eh?
It's not that I don't trust either of you, but I wouldn't be a proper detective without examining the validity of your alibis. Had and I are here to confirm two things. Why Vector left to go play games with Knuckles, and if Espio really was reading in the library car. Vector, we'll start with you. Why did you leave the library car to visit Knuckles? We're prepared to present evidence if need...
Oh, that's easy, I got bored.
Huh?
What?
I wasn't entertaining him enough, it seems. Vector enjoys being social.
Plus, we were instructed to mingle. I remembered the arcade machine in the saloon car, so I figured I'd go check it out.
This seems to line up with the information we gathered with Knuckles. Then that brings our attention to you, Espio. Rouge entered their library car and found something and then left. You said you immediately started reading, but were you actually reading the entire time you were in the library car?
Of course he was.
Oh.
Once Espio starts reading, he doesn't stop till it's done. I've seen it happen.
It must have been a good read. What was the book?
Espio doesn't owe you that, detective. Let the man live. What if it was embarrassing?
What kind of things do you think I read? If you won't talk, I have a hunch on what book might... Thank you. If you won't talk, I have a hunch on what that book might be. Hat, could you help me out? Oh, all right, Hat. What book do we think Espio may have been reading? The manual. It's the only book here.
A manual? You think Espio was reading instructions? What argument could you possibly have to support this?
Oh, I'll show you. With the power of my dream gear. Here we go. By collecting enough rings, I can think the impossible. And here's the new element, throwing stars. You see, Espio's a ninja. So now we're getting some of his flavor. Obviously, I'd prefer not getting hit by these throwing stars. Boing. And there we have it. Oh, I should have failed to get the failure line. There are books scattered around the floor, sure, but the remaining books on the shelves were all in alphabetical order. All except this manual, meaning someone at the very least picked the manual up and put it back in the incorrect place. Oh. This lack of attention to detail isn't normally like you, Espio.
Hey now! I won't have you insulting my pal like that!
Calm down, Vector. I know you mean well, but I can handle myself.
Apologies, Espio.
But you're a poet. Friendship can form anywhere. That is indeed the book I was reading. The Mirage Express Manual. Trains are cool. True. In that case, we'd like to ask you a few questions about the manual. Hat, if you don't mind. Could you ask Espio some questions about the manual? Just flip to a page and ask away. Oh, I see. Quiz Espio about the manual to prove he read it. Which page should I quiz him on? Well, if he was really reading it all the way through, then obviously, he would know all of it. But if he was just faking it, then maybe he only read through the first, 100 pages. So, 362. Okay, what efficient and extremely accurate technology was installed to assist in keeping the train spotless? Robotic arms. During events, they can perform a variety of tasks and are responsible for cleaning up trash and messes afterwards. I remember the conductor saying the train can clean itself, though I have a feeling the train company just didn't want to hire any janitors. The robotic arms can also detect weapons or explosives being brought onto the train, ensuring passenger safety. Seems like Espio aced that question. Hat, hit him with another one. Oh, okay. Which page do I choose? 231. What is the Mirage Express's cancellation policy? No refunds, and you will be charged a no-show fee. This does not apply if you are over the age of 65. Gee, the person who made this rule must have been over 65. Last one, Hat. Let's see if Espio can go 3 for 3. Gotcha. Which page should I pick last? Alright, so maybe skip to the end. 16. What was implemented to support the conductor duties and ease general train obligations? An intelligent data processing system. It works in tandem with the conductor to assure smooth travel for guests. I remember this. The train has an autopilot, but it can't access its full suite of capabilities without the conductor present. Now, did I pass your little test? What if I say no? What if I say no? Would that freak him out? Would that make him sweat a little? No, he did. He passed. I can't say no to my boy Espio. Totally! It's wild you were able to retain all this information so quickly. A poet's brain is often surprising. I don't know if I'd be bragging about that. You've clearly read the manual. Those answers feel far too specific to be guesses.
And you both had the nerve to question my buddy like that. Don't we want to be supporting folks who read?
You have to admit, though, reading the entire time a murder occurred does sound a bit suspicious, even if true. But he answered all my questions so calmly. That's very impressive. No, I understand everyone's cautious attitudes. Vector was the only one to see me reading, after all. My alibi is hard to substantiate, despite being the truth. Huh? Well, you definitely read through the manual, so I suppose we can... Espio, is that true? Vector was the only one to see you reading? Yes, that's correct. Problem? Frankly, I don't believe that can be true, and we have evidence to back it up. Hat. Oh, he always puts me on the spot. Okay, Hat, think. We should have a piece of evidence linked to someone who also saw Espio reading, but what? Shadow. Because Shadow passed through locking the door. Shadow's lock. Please, pray tell, what this has to do with anything. We're up, Hat. Let's get our argument together. All right, time to put my thinking game on. 50 rings. A paltry sum. No, wait, that's okay. I don't need to think too hard on this one. Because all I need to do is say that Shadow did it. Shadow was here. You know, I was just thinking, Espio has established he can read minds. What if he didn't read the book, and he merely read my mind? I'm okay. That's what I get for thinking. He just read my mind and pulled the answers from my brain. Shadow walked through the library car to get to the saloon car, where he set the original high score on the arcade machine.
Yeah, but I ended up beating it. It wasn't a high score long.
Okay.
Crocs are natural gamers.
Espio said he saw Shadow enter the library car, but he's mentioned nothing about Shadow's return. He only mentions that Victor came back. When Shadow left Knuckles and Vector in the saloon car, Espio was fully seated, reading his book for a good while at this point. We know Shadow had to walk back through the library car when he left the saloon car, so there's absolutely no way Shadow and Espio didn't notice one another on Shadow's return trip.
I mean,
It was a simple slip-up. I was just fully immersed in my book that I didn't notice Shadow. You're telling me the sound of doors opening and locking wouldn't have caused you to look up? You see, I can sense Espio's desperation here. Defending the argument that he was reading the entire time isn't easy. So, if you didn't see Espio returning... the other guy. So if you didn't see Shadow returning from the saloon car to lock all the doors, then at that moment, were you really in the library car at all? Oh, but how would Espio leave? Shadow locked all the doors and no one saw Espio in the saloon car. It's a mystery, my dear Hat, one that I would love for Espio to solve. You gotta believe me. That cool demeanor is vanishing. I was so involved in my book I didn't notice Shadow pass back through the library car. Honest. When Vector returned, he even had to tap me on the shoulder to get my attention.
Yeah, I think I remember doing that.
I must avenge my friend's death, so I'll ask you again, Espio. If you weren't there for Shadow to see you reading, then how did you leave the library car? I wasn't. I didn't. Why doesn't this seem right to me? Tails definitely feels like he's onto something, but I don't see it. Was Espio simply sitting reading? Or did he somehow vanish to not notice Shadow's return to the library car? What should I do? Join Tails or defend Espio? Well, I'm of two minds. Two minds. Now, mind you, I do know the story personally, but for the sake of the story, Espio is a ninja. We know this. Of course we do. He could have used some ninjutsu to leave the car undetected. Alternatively, he was simply reading his book. Also, Espio's my boy, so we're defending him. I have to make sure our guests are taken care of. I have to speak up. Tails! Huh? We have a piece of evidence that can answer all of our problems. All right, my fellow associate, lay it on me! What piece of evidence shows Shadow and Espio couldn't have seen one another? The map. Alright, now let's get my thoughts in order. And I pull out my dream gear. Not the Game Gear. Why would it be the Game Gear? But yeah, I mean, he simply could have just ninja'd his way out. I'm just saying, that's a possibility. But you should never think that. Never assume a ninja would have do ninja things, okay? Never assume that. Boing. Oh. Well. Easy does it. The library map? Oh, I see. See the exits? They're right across from one another, a straight path. If Shadow walked down this straight path, there's a way Espio and Shadow couldn't have seen one another. Looks like you'll have to point out where exactly on the map you mean. Where could Espio have been for Shadow to not see him? He could be at a bookshelf, but no. So he's not at the front desk, he sees the path. The path, of course, being that straight line through the middle, horizontally, right? So, as you can tell, this is the only one where it could be. Every other spot he should at least be able to see out of the corner of his eye. But here, there's a bookshelf in the way. Boom. Interesting. That's where I was sitting, reading my book. Also, we should have had Espio point out where he was sitting. Maybe we should have done that? Just saying.
I can second this. When I returned from the saloon car, Espio was in the same spot.
That confirms it then. You see, Shadow and Espio couldn't have seen one another from this spot, because a bookcase is in the way. There's no way Shadow could have seen Espio, or vice versa. It makes a lot of sense why you never mentioned Shadow's return, Espio. There's just no way you would have seen him. I apologize for losing my cool back there. I felt like I was grasping despite telling the truth. But I'm glad you all believe me now. Your alibi isn't the most airtight, but I have no further points. Thank you both for answering all our questions. We did it. Another pair of alibis validated. Dun 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 dun. Too many locked doors to worry about, but I'm glad everything straightened itself out in the end.
Well, I'm exhausted. I'm gonna crash here for a bit. These chairs are so comfy.
Likewise, I could use a breather. Sadly, our work isn't done. I have plenty of questions for Rouge, and especially Shadow. Oh, it seems the door to the next car is open. Amy must have kept it open when she passed through earlier. Then that's our cue to leave. See you later, Vector and Espio.
Give a Mac. If you need any meat chopped, say the word.
I'll keep my poetry sharp for you both. A murderer is on the loose, while doors keep getting locked. Tick, tick, tock goes the clock, while our heroes are in the caboose. At this point, I'm feeling pretty confident in our detective abilities. We're really doing this. Come on, Het, let's see what's next. Coming. And away we go. You sure you don't want to stay and look at all the great books a little longer? All right, just one more look around. You can never spend too much time in a library. Okay, but Tails, we do need to get going. The mystery calls. Okay, the investigation continues. Which brings us to the casino car. Look at that chow with the mustache. Next time, we get to investigate and interrogate Rouge and Blaze. And hopefully get to the bottom of what Shadow's doing. Oh, also, who killed Sonic? I don't know. Who done it? We'll find out that and more next time.